Hey guys, I'm Heidi and I'm pregnant. I thought it would be fun to share it with you guys as of filming this. I'm about 12 and a half weeks pregnant. I've got lots of pregnancy video ideas, so expect more of those over the next 6 or so months. If you aren't interested, don't worry. There's still gonna be a regular type content, at least every other week when Jen posts, and then I'll probably, I don't think I'm gonna have quite 6 months worth of pregnancy content, so I'll still be doing some regular stuff mixed in there. So I wrote down a list of questions that you guys might have that I'm just gonna answer real quick. Okay, how have you been feeling? So I have had, I would say probably like medium morning sickness. I was feeling sick probably like 6 days a week, maybe like 13 out of 14 days. Like most days I was feeling sick. Usually it was for a few hours, sometimes in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, sometimes in the evening, sometimes all day. It varied, but I never threw up. And ironically enough, it was actually like, I don't feel morning sick anymore. I don't have any more food aversions, but it was like the last 2 days that I got morning sickness were the worst. Like I felt like I had to throw up. I wanted to throw up for some relief. So it was very odd, but we're almost in the second trimester now, and fortunately, morning sickness does seem to have subsided. Aversions, I could not stand the smell of bacon, especially. It made me so sick. All I really wanted to eat was like bread and cereal. And one thing that actually helped a lot for me was ice water. Ice water helps. There you go. Cravings. So I've been craving like fast food mostly. I love fast food always, but I try not to eat it too much. But yeah, I've especially been craving it recently. The one like odd craving I would say is KFC. And I say that because like I don't usually eat KFC very much. Like if I go out for fast food, it's usually like burger. But the one day I was working, and one of the guys I was working with, he mentioned like somewhere in the States they have deep fried bacon, and that sounded gross, because bacon was making me sick at this point. But it just made me think, when he said deep fried, it made me think of KFC, and that was all I wanted for like the next 4 days until I finally got it, and it was so good, especially with the hot sauce. Don't sleep on the hot sauce. And then just spicy foods in general, I've been craving more than usual. No heartburn yet, thank goodness, because spicy foods and heartburn don't mix. But are we going to find out the baby's gender? I don't know. And I've talked to Quentin, my husband, about this, and we're just like, maybe, but we don't really need to know yet. I know you can find out really early with blood tests, but on ultrasound you can't find out till around 20 weeks. So I figure, you know what, we don't need to know before 20 weeks. Like, why do we need to know before then? Anyway, so yeah, who knows? Do we have names picked out? Yes, actually. We actually had the boy's name picked out before I was even pregnant, months before. And we have a girl's name picked out as well. Obviously we're not gonna mention either of them to anyone else before the baby's born, because everyone always has an opinion and we don't want other people to try to sway us. So, will there be more pregnancy content? I already answered that at the beginning. Yes, absolutely. Will I show the baby in future videos? Probably not. Like maybe like right after they're born I'll show like some pictures of the baby or something, just because like newborns don't look like the same person even as like a 3-month-old. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. How many kids do we plan on having? So probably 2 or 3. I personally have actually been leaning more towards 3 recently, but we'll see what it's like after we have 2 kids. Because maybe 2 kids will feel like a lot, and I'll be like, that's it. But we'll see. So yeah, baby bump. What does your baby bump look like? Okay. There's the baby bump for anyone who's interested. It's probably like 50% bloat, but there you go. And then lastly, I'm just going to tell you guys the story of finding out that we were having a baby and leading up to that. So we actually just got married last September, but we knew right away we wanted to have kids. We're not old or anything, but we're not like super young. We're not like 20. So we were like, well, we're in a state of life where I think we could probably have kids pretty soon. So we started trying relatively quickly, and we just could not. And it actually ended up taking about 7 months, which they say most people should get pregnant within 6, but it's still more or less normal within a year. And every month, like, my periods are somewhat irregular, so what would happen is my period would be like a day late, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. And I would take a pregnancy test, and I would be so nervous and excited, and it would be negative. And I remember taking a test in April when I was so convinced that I was pregnant. And I had what I thought were early pregnancy symptoms the week leading up to when my period was due. Then the day my period was due, I was like, I'm taking this test. So I take the test, and it's negative. And I actually took one of the more expensive, like, this is supposed to be super accurate test, because I was like, I don't trust the cheap test. So I took the really expensive test, and it was negative. And I was just devastated. I was so depressed. I was crying all day. And then, of course, a couple days later, I finally got my period. But that was just really hard for me. So then the following month, I had decided I didn't want to go through that again. So I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to take a test until my period is a week late. Because it's normal for my period to be up to 5 days late. Which is annoying as crap, but I know that's pretty normal for a lot of people. So the day my period is due comes, and I don't get it, and the next day comes, and it's actually funny because I did not think I was pregnant at all. I was just expecting my period to come. I actually really wanted it to come because you're not supposed to have a lot of caffeine when you're pregnant, and I like to drink energy drinks. So what I would do, kind of to make myself feel a bit better, is the day I would get my period, I would have an energy drink. And I just really wanted that energy drink. So I wanted my period to come. So for the first several days, I was just waiting for my period to come so that I could have my energy drink. But then once it hit 4 days later, I was like, I'm pregnant. And then 5 days late, I started having a little bit of like early pregnancy symptoms again. And I was like, I don't know. But at the same time, at the end of the 5th day, it was like, my period is almost never more than 5 days late. So I was like, well. And then we wanted to sleep in on the weekend. So instead of waiting the full week, Quentin convinced me to take a test the following morning. So I did, and it was crazy because if you have ever waited to take a test, you know the bar doesn't even finish filling up before you have that pregnancy line. Like, it was insane. I was still just like, TMI here, but I was still just sitting on the toilet preparing to set my timer, and all the bars isn't even filled up, and I've got the 2 lines already. I was so excited. I was so happy. So yeah, that's the story of me finding out that we're having a baby, which is super exciting, and I can't wait to meet the little one, and I can't wait to share the rest of this experience with you guys. And I'll make sure to keep you updated, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.